Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy deploys amphibious assault fleet August 7th at 2:47 a.m. 34 Type 071 landing platform docks, 47 Type 072 landing ships, 89 Type 073 landing craft, 170 vessels total, largest amphibious operation since D-Day 1944, 83 years, carries 67,000 troops, 890 armored vehicles, 340 tanks, 2,400 trucks. Everything needed to invade Taiwan. Departs multiple ports, Zhangjiang, Guangzhou, Fuzhou, Ningbo, coordinated simultaneously, heads southeast, Taiwan Strait, 100 miles crossing, 8 hours at 12 knots. Arrival time, 11 a.m. Beaches targeted, northwestern Taiwan, Taoyuan, Hsinchu, Miaoli, relatively flat, suitable for landing. Close to Taipei, 30 miles from capital. Strategic objective, capture government, decapitate resistance, force surrender. This is critical phase, not escalation anymore, invasion, not posturing. War, not threats. Action. China invades Taiwan, USA must respond. Immediately, decisively, overwhelmingly, or lose ally, lose credibility, lose Pacific. This is analysis of critical phase. This is explanation of invasion. This is story of when wars decide. Through action, through commitment, through blood. Taiwan's geography complicates invasion. Island is 245 miles long, 90 miles wide, mountainous. Central mountain range, 268 peaks above 3,000 meters. Eastern coast is cliffs, steep, inaccessible, unsuitable for landing. Western coast is different, plains, beaches, cities, population centers. 90% Taiwanese live here, industrial base, government, everything. But western coast is narrow, 15-30 miles wide plains. Beyond is mountains, defensive terrain, favorable for defenders. Invasion must succeed quickly, before defenders consolidate, before reinforcements arrive, before international intervention. Speed is essential. Chinese planning reflects this. Largest amphibious force assembled, maximum troops, overwhelming firepower, simultaneous landings, multiple beaches, rapid advance, capture Taipei within 48 hours, force government surrender. Accomplish before America intervenes decisively. This is Chinese strategy. Bold, risky, necessary, window closing, Taiwan independence growing, American commitment strengthening, international support increasing. Must act now or never. PLA launches invasion. Biggest gamble, highest stakes, everything committed. What's your immediate assessment? Type A if you think China succeeds before US intervenes. Type B if you think US stops invasion. American intelligence detects Chinese fleet 3:47 a.m. August 7th. Satellite imagery. Overhead reconnaissance. NRO satellites every 90 minutes. Synthetic aperture radar. Penetrates clouds, darkness, everything. Images show 170 vessels departing Chinese ports. Formation heading southeast. Taiwan Strait. Unmistakable. Invasion underway. Pentagon notified immediately. Chairman Joint Chiefs briefs President. 4:23 a.m. Washington time, August 6th evening. President convenes National Security Council. Immediate emergency session. Options presented. Option 1. Diplomatic protest. Demand China halt. Threaten sanctions. Weak. Insufficient. Dismissed. Option 2. Limited strike. Attack fleet at sea. Sink amphibious ships. Stop invasion. Effective militarily. Starts war with China. Nuclear-armed power. 1.4 billion people. Second largest economy. Massive consequences. Option 3. Defend Taiwan. Coordinate with Taiwanese forces. Engage Chinese invasion. Commit American forces. Fulfill alliance commitment. Inevitable war. But honorable, necessary, strategic. Recommended. President authorizes. Execute immediately. Orders transmitted. Pacific Command activates. 7th Fleet mobilizes. Japan-based forces deploy. Guam-based bombers launch. Everything. Maximum effort. Critical phase begins. USA enters war against China over Taiwan for future. Don't miss how USA responds to Chinese invasion. Subscribe for complete Taiwan war analysis. USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group transits from Philippine Sea. Position 340 miles from Taiwan. Too far, too slow. Increases speed to flank 30 plus knots. Transit time 11 hours. Chinese landing expected 11 hours a.m. Reagan arrives 3:47 p.m., 4.5 hours late. Cannot prevent initial landing. Can attack follow-on forces. Can support Taiwanese counterattack. Can establish air superiority eventually. But timing is critical. Chinese troops will be ashore, establishing beachhead, advancing inland. Every hour matters. Reagan Strike Group races. FA-18 Super Hornets launch early. From maximum range, 340 miles, loaded light, maximum fuel, minimal weapons, 2 AM-120 AMRAAMs, 2 GBU-38 JDAMs, 500-pound class. Insufficient for ships, but available now. Speed matters more than payload. 44 Super Hornets launch. 5:47 a.m. Transit time, 47 minutes at 600 knots. Arrive Taiwan Strait, 6:34 a.m. Chinese fleet, still 80 miles from beaches. 4.5 hours from landing. Super Hornets can attack, harass, delay, cannot stop. Not enough weapons, not enough aircraft, need bombers, need submarines, need everything. This level of invasion detail requires serious research. Subscribe to support this work. B-2 Spirit stealth bombers launch from Andersen Air Force Base, Guam, 1,800 miles from Taiwan. 6 aircraft, all available. Each carries 16 GBU-31 JDAM 2,000-pound bombs, 96 bombs total, plus 2 AIM-120 AMRAAMs self-defense. Mission is sink amphibious ships, destroy invasion fleet, prevent landing. Difficult mission, heavily defended fleet, Chinese Navy escorts, Type 055 destroyers, 8 accompanying, most advanced, Aegis equivalent, 112 VLS cells, HHQ-9B long-range SAMs, range 200 kilometers, altitude 30 kilometers, threatens bombers, plus Type 052D destroyers, 16 escorting, 64 VLS cells, same missiles, more numbers, plus Type 054A frigates, 24 escorting, medium-range defense, short-range systems, CIWS, everything. Fleet is heavily defended, prepared for air attack, anticipated American response. But B-2s are stealth, radar cross-section 0.1 square meters. Tiny. Chinese radars cannot detect reliably, track intermittently, cannot engage effectively. B-2s penetrate defenses, release weapons, 96 JDAMs drop, GPS guided. Precision, target largest amphibious ships, Type 071s, 25,000 tons. Carry 800 troops each, 6 targeted, 16 bombs each, 96 total. Bombs impact, explosions massive, 2,000-pound warheads, devastating, ships hit, damaged. 3 sink immediately, catastrophic damage. 3 more damaged severely, cannot land troops, mission killed. 6 Type 071s eliminated. 4,800 troops lost, equipment sunk, critical blow. But 164 vessels remain, 62,000 plus troops. Invasion continues. Delayed, not stopped. Chinese fleet proceeds, accepts losses. Continues mission, landing beaches ahead, hours away. Everything committed. What would you do as U.S. Pacific Commander? Comment your strategy below. Taiwanese forces prepare defense. F-16V fighters scramble. All 127 operational, armed with AM-120C AMRAAMs, AM-9X Sidewinders, Harpoon anti-ship missiles, everything. Mission is attack invasion fleet, sink ships, kill troops, delay landing, buy time for American intervention. F-16Vs approach Chinese fleet 7:47 a.m. Detect escort destroyers. Type 055s. Type 052Ds. Radar illumination. Missile lock warnings. HHQ-9B SAMs launch. 47 missiles. Engage Taiwanese fighters. F-16s evade. Chaff. Flares. Maneuvers. Electronic warfare. Everything. 23 F-16s hit. Shot down. Pilots eject. 12 rescued. 11 killed. Heavy losses. But 104 F-16s survive. Press attack. Launch 89. Harpoon anti-ship missiles. Target amphibious vessels. Type 072 landing ships. Harpoons, sea skim. Approach low. Chinese CIWS engage. Type 1130 11-barrel Gatling guns. 11,000 rounds per minute. Destroy 34 Harpoons, but 55 penetrate. Impact Type 072s. Explosions. Ships hit. 17 sink. 3,400 troops lost. Equipment destroyed. More losses. Chinese fleet suffers. But continues. Determination absolute. Invasion proceeds. Despite casualties. Despite losses. Despite everything. If you're following this Taiwan invasion, hit subscribe now. Chinese landing begins 11:47 a.m. August 7th, after 47-minute delay from planned 11 a.m. American and Taiwanese attacks caused delay, sunk ships, killed troops, disrupted formations. But landing proceeds anyway. Determination absolute. Everything committed. Cannot retreat now. Beaches are northwestern Taiwan coast. 3 sectors, simultaneous assault. Northern sector, Taoyuan beaches. 15 kilometers coastline. 47 landing ships committed. Type 071 LPDs. Type 072 LSTs. Type 073 LCUs. Mix of classes. Carry 18,000 troops total. 89th Combined Arms Brigade. 127th Amphibious Mechanized Infantry Brigade. Plus support units. Artillery, engineers, logistics, everything. Central sector, Hsinchu beaches. 12 kilometers coastline. 56 landing ships. 21,000 troops. 91st Amphibious Mechanized Brigade. 164th Combined Arms Brigade. Elite forces. Most trained. Best equipped. Southern sector, Miaoli beaches. 18 kilometers coastline. 61 landing ships. 23,000 troops. 77th Group Army units. Multiple brigades. Heavy armor. Artillery. Everything. Total across 3 sectors. 164 vessels surviving from 170 original. 62,000 troops from 67,000 embarked. 5,000 lost ships sunk. Equipment proportional, still massive force. Largest amphibious operation since D-Day 1944. Beaches are defended. Taiwanese army prepared, fortified, concrete bunkers, dragon's teeth obstacles, barbed wire, minefields, everything. Plus forces. Taoyuan sector, 4,200 defenders. 234th Infantry Regiment, plus territorial defense. Hsinchu sector, 3,800 defenders, 542nd Armored Brigade elements, CM-11 tanks, M60 Pattons. Miaoli sector, 4,000 defenders, 586th Infantry Brigade, M109 self-propelled artillery, total 12,000 defenders approximately, ratio 5.1 favors attackers. But defenders have fortifications, prepared positions, home terrain advantage, no ground. Trained here, everything. First wave launches 11:47 a.m. Landing craft deploy from ships 3 miles offshore. Type 726 Yuyi class hovercraft, LCAC equivalent. Chinese indigenous design, 30 meters length, 16 meters beam, 150-ton displacement, carries 60 troops, or 1 Type 96 tank, or 2 armored vehicles. Speed 60+ knots. Transit time beach to ship, 3 minutes. Each sector deploys hundreds of landing craft. Waves of hovercraft roar across water. Deafening. Taiwanese defenders see approaching. Prepare. Artillery fires. M109, 155mm howitzers. Range 24 kilometers. Reaches ships offshore. Shells impact water. Some hit landing craft. Explosions. Casualties. But most survive. Continue approaching. Coast Guard 20mm cannon fires. Machine guns. Everything. Landing craft hit beach. Ramps drop. Troops disembark. Run forward. Chinese infantry charges. Type 95 automatic rifles. Fire while advancing. Suppressive fire. Overwhelming volume. Taiwanese defenders fire from bunkers. T-91 rifles. Minimi machine guns. 40mm grenades. Everything. Chinese troops fall. Dozens. Hundreds. But keep coming. Numbers overwhelming. Wave after wave. Type 726 hovercraft. Return to ships. Load more troops. Return to beach. Continuous cycle. Reinforcement constant. Taiwanese ammunition depletes. Cannot sustain fire rate. Chinese troops reach obstacles. Dragon's teeth. Barbed wire. Mines. Engineers deploy, Bangalore torpedoes, mine-clearing charges, explosions blow gaps, infantry rushes through, reach bunkers, assault, grenades, flamethrowers. Satchel charges, everything, brutal, close quarters, hand-to-hand sometimes. Taiwanese defenders fight desperately, kill hundreds, but outnumbered, overwhelmed, bunkers fall, positions overrun, defenders retreat. Fall back to secondary positions, 500 meters inland, pre-prepared, fighting continues. Chinese naval gunfire supports advance. Type 0555 destroyers offshore, 130mm main guns, HPJ-38, range 30 kilometers, covers entire beachhead. Forward observers, direct fire. Radio communications, coordinates transmitted, shells impact Taiwanese positions, concrete bunkers destroyed, tanks hit, artillery silenced, devastating effectiveness. Type 052D destroyers supplement, 130mm guns. Same system, more ships, more firepower. Type 054A frigates add 76mm fire, smaller shells. Higher rate, suppressive effect. Everything supports ground advance. PLA troops push inland systematically. Professional execution, combined arms doctrine, infantry, armor, artillery, air, everything coordinated. By 2:47 p.m., 3 hours after H-hour, Chinese control all 3 beaches. Advance 3 kilometers inland average. Taoyuan sector deepest. 4.2 kilometers. Hsinchu 2.8 kilometers. Miaoli 2.6 kilometers. Beachheads established. Consolidated. Supply begins. Equipment unloads. Ammunition, fuel, food, medical, everything. But reinforcement problematic. Ships are targets. American strikes incoming. Taiwanese resistance stiffening. Interior positions stronger. More troops, better terrain. Mountains approaching. Urban areas ahead. Taipei 30 kilometers north from Taoyuan. Highway 1 leads directly. PLA 89th Brigade advances. Objective, capture capital. Decapitate government. Force surrender. 48-hour timeline. Clock ticking. Casualties, catastrophic both sides. Chinese, 8,900 killed. 18,400 wounded. Taiwanese, 3,400 killed. 7,200 wounded. Exchange rate favors defenders. But attackers have numbers, reinforcements, supplies, everything. Taiwan has limited forces, no reserves, no reinforcements. Depends on America. Completely. USS Ronald Reagan arrives offshore Taiwan, 3:47 p.m. after 11-hour high-speed transit from Philippine Sea. Carrier strike group includes Reagan CVN-76, 2 Ticonderoga cruisers, Chancellorsville, Antietam, 4 Arleigh Burke destroyers, Benfold, Barry, Milius, Higgins, support ships. Air Wing 5 aboard Reagan. Immediately launches full strike package, maximum effort. 67 FA-18EF, Super Hornets. All available aircraft, each loaded heavy. 4 AGM-84D Harpoon Block 2 anti-ship missiles per aircraft. 268 Harpoons total. Plus AM-120D AMRAAMs self-defense. Mission, destroy Chinese ships. Offshore support vessels, follow-on invasion waves. Second echelon approaching, 89 ships. Carrying 34,000 fresh troops, reinforcements for beachhead, critical targets. Super Hornets approach from east, over Pacific, low altitude, sea skimming, avoid Chinese radar. F-16Vs from Taiwan provide fighter cover. Electronic warfare, EA-18G. Growlers jam Chinese radars, blind air defenses, create confusion. Super Hornets launch Harpoons at maximum range, 124 kilometers, 268 missiles ripple fire, spread across sectors. Target prioritization, Type 071 LPDs, highest value. Carry 800 troops each. Type 072 LSTs next, 250 troops. Type 073 LCUs. Everything targeted systematically. Harpoons, sea skim final approach, 5 meters altitude. Mach 0.85 speed. Active radar seekers acquire targets. Guide autonomously. Chinese ships attempt defense. HHQ-10 short-range SAMs. Type 1130 CIWS. Everything fires. Destroys 47 Harpoons, but 221 penetrate. Impact ships. Explosions throughout fleet. Catastrophic damage. Type 071 LPDs hit multiple times. 8 ships, all heavily damaged. 5 sink immediately. 3 disabled. Type 072 LSTs targeted. 23 ships hit, 17 sink, 6 damaged. Type 073 LCUs, 16 sunk. Follow-on wave devastated. 47 ships sunk total. First echelon offshore plus second echelon approaching. 18,700 troops killed aboard ships. Drowned, burned, everything. Equipment lost. 340 armored vehicles, 127 tanks, 890 trucks. Ammunition, fuel, medical supplies, everything sunk. Critical blow to Chinese operation. Beachhead isolated. Cannot reinforce. Cannot resupply adequately. Ships remaining too few. Distance too far under American air attack. Reagan establishes air superiority. FA-18s patrol continuously. Shoot down Chinese helicopters attempting resupply. J-20 fighters attempt intervention. 4 shot down by AIM-120Ds. AWACS provides battle management. E-2D Hawkeye coordinates everything. Situation shifts. Chinese beachhead isolated. Taiwanese counterattack imminent. American support decisive. Battle balance changes. Everything uncertain. Next 48 hours critical. Literally. Taiwanese counterattack begins. American air support. Reagan fighters provide close air support. Taiwanese army attacks. 23rd Infantry Division, 47,000 troops. M60 Patton tanks. M109 artillery. Everything. Supported by American JDAMs. Harpoons. Close coordination. Combined arms. Professional execution. Chinese beachhead pressured, squeezed, attacked. Cannot advance. Cannot retreat. Ships sunk. Reinforcements stopped. Situation desperate. But PLA fights. Determined. Ideologically committed. Professionally trained. Will not surrender. Will not retreat. Will fight. Will die. Critical phase continues. Outcome uncertain. Battle rages. Taiwan bleeds. China bleeds. America commits. Everything at stake. Future of Pacific. Credibility of alliances. Balance of power. Everything. This is critical phase. War over Taiwan. USA versus China. Maximum stakes. Ultimate commitment. Final reckoning. Your engagement determines content we create. Comment analysis and share this video. International reaction. Japan condemns. JSDF alert. But constitution limits. Logistics only. Bases refueling available. South Korea silent. Neutrality maintained. Australia condemns. AUKUS ally token support. ASEAN divided. Vietnam supports quietly. Philippines allows bases. Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand neutral. Europe condemns, urges restraint, offers nothing. Russia backs China, strategic partnership. UN Security Council, China vetoes, Russia supports, nothing accomplished. Taiwan fights with America alone. Casualties. August 7th reflect intensity. Chinese military, 8,900 killed landing. 18,400 wounded. 18,700 killed ships sunk. Total, 27,600 killed. 18,400 wounded. Catastrophic, unsustainable, but committed. PLA continues. Taiwanese military, 3,400 killed defending beaches. 7,200 wounded. 23 F-16s lost. Pilots killed. Heavy but acceptable. Still fighting. American military, 0 combat deaths. 170 ships sunk. 47 by Reagan strike. Chinese capabilities degraded. Mission succeeds. But war just beginning. Chinese troops ashore. 50,100 surviving. Dug in. Fortified. Resupplied inadequately. But fighting. Taiwanese counterattack begins. American support continues. Battle rages. Outcome uncertain. Next 48 hours decide everything. Chinese capture Taipei. War over. Taiwan surrenders. Chinese fail. Invasion repelled. Taiwan survives. American credibility maintained. Everything depends. Everything at stake. Critical phase, literally. If you made it through complete invasion analysis, you understand Taiwan crisis. Subscribe. 3 final questions demand answers. First, can Chinese beachheads survive? Uncertain. Isolated from reinforcement. Reagan strike severed supply. 53,100 troops ashore. Insufficient to capture Taipei. Need 100,000 plus for urban combat. Cannot receive reinforcements. Ships sunk. Second wave destroyed. Ammunition limited. 3-5 days supply maximum. Food similar. Fuel critical. Taiwanese counterattack supported by American air power. Pressure increasing. Casualties mounting. Beachhead may collapse. May hold. May advance. Uncertain. Everything depends on next 48 hours. Second question. Will U.S. commit ground forces? Uncertain. Air and naval support committed. Marines possible. 31st, Marine Expeditionary Unit available. 2,200 troops. Okinawa-based. Can deploy. Insufficient to change battle, but symbolic. Demonstrates commitment. Encourages Taiwanese. Demoralizes Chinese. Ground combat against PLA is different. Casualties would be high. American public support uncertain. Political calculation difficult. Decision pending. Third question. Does China escalate? Nuclear threat? Possibly. Conventional invasion failing. Options narrowing. Domestic pressure increasing. CCP legitimacy threatened. Taiwan invasion is existential for regime. Promised reunification. Cannot fail. Failure means regime change. Possibly. Nuclear escalation becomes thinkable, not probable, but possible. American deterrence prevents. Massive retaliation guaranteed. But desperate regimes do desperate things. Xi Jinping faces historic failure. Cannot accept. May escalate. Dangerously. This is August 7th, 2027. This is critical phase. Taiwan invasion underway. Chinese troops ashore. American forces engaged. Battle rages. Outcome uncertain. Next 48 hours, decide Pacific future. Alliance credibility. Power balance. Everything. War over Taiwan. USA versus China. Critical phase. Maximum stakes. Ultimate test. Final determination.